All right. I see Derek joined. Derek, can you see me? Everything working well on your end? Can you hear me, Derek? All right. I see you guys are joining. Just give me a moment. Let's wait for more people to get here, and then we can get started. I see about 8 people are here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for joining. All right. Guys, if you can hear me, just leave a comment below and say, yes, I can hear you. I just want to make sure that my audio is good and you guys can hear me out. So you can just leave me a comment below and say, yes, we can hear you. Thanks, Nancy. Thank you. Awesome. Good, good. I can see people are saying we can hear you. That's great. Awesome. Guys, let's just give another minute and wait for more people to join and then we can get started. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. All right, all right. I see more people are joining. Thank you guys so much. Anyone that's here, thank you guys so much for taking your time to be here today. I am more than happy to have you guys here. Hey Nadesh, I see you joining. Thank you. I see Vera. I see a whole lot of you guys. Gaia, thanks for joining. Annette, Nancy, shout out to you for joining and for everything. Derek, thanks for coming. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll give you guys a little bit of intro about myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nicole. I also go by Nikki, and I do videos on YouTube on Scrum, right? Specifically on Scrum. My goal is to pretty much help people, Scrum Masters that are currently working, that are facing challenges at work, help them find or figure ways that they can overcome those challenges so your team can keep delivering on time. I have been working as a Schoolmaster for different companies, helping them with their agile transformation. So I've pretty much helped companies to ensure that they deliver high quality products at the end of their deliveries. So I am going to be having a guest speaker today, a very good friend of mine. Her name is Anna Bangam. She's also a Scrum Master. She's wonderful. And she's also going to be joining me today to be answering any questions that you guys may have. If you do have any specific question that you're currently having that maybe you need some clarity on, we're here to help you to clarify all those doubts that you may have. So, with that being said, I am going to bring in Anna. Just give me a second, guys. Awesome. Hey, Anna. All right,
Hey,
guys. So this is Anna Bangam. She's also a Scrum Master, and also she is the owner of Scrum Scrum Master
that's such a thing.
Champions. I have to think about it for a minute. She's the owner of Scrum Master Champions. Anna is also a coach herself. She's the Scrum Master. She's wonderful, and she's here to help you guys to clarify any doubts that you may have. So, Anna, with that, please do go ahead and give a little bit of intro about yourself, and then we can dive right into the question session.
Sure. No, thank you so much, Nicole, and for even thinking about this collaboration, right? I think it is amazing. Thank you for, I will always forever be grateful for you, even being the one to tell me about being a Scrum Master to begin with. And here we are today collaborating. So I think it's magical, and I'm always and always will be appreciative of you and you just talking to me about it, and as a result, a lot of lives have been impacted. So a little bit about myself: I do coach and mentor individuals to become highly effective Scrum Masters by using their own transferable skills. Right? I've been in this space going on 5 years. Can't believe it. Right? Still cannot believe it. But
Yes.
we're here, and that's remarkable. And I besides being a Scrum Master, I'm also in the military. I am 9 years in, 10 years. I've been 10 years in August, and that I cannot believe it. Like I can't believe any of the things I'm saying. But hey, the reason I'm saying this is because if you believe it, you will always achieve it. So it's just amazing to be here. I'm grateful. And I'm from Cameroon, if that's something you didn't know about me. So yeah, I can't wait for us to, continue this collaboration in this space and answer questions.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you so much for taking your time to be here. And thank you again also for your services, being in the army. That's a lot of responsibilities. We just want to thank you for that. So yes, guys, let's go right into our topic for today: questions and answer session. We do have some questions that came in already. Some people actually reach out to us in advance with some questions that they're currently having and some challenges that they're facing. So let me just go ahead and pull those questions and then we can get right into our session.
Absolutely. I love the earrings though.
Oh,
I
thank you.
really was going to wear it the same. I was like, no, I kind of like Africa today. Let me just represent. Yeah.
So, all right, and guys, while we're going through these questions, if you do have anything else you really want us to talk about, you're facing any type of challenges at work, any questions that you may have, please just go ahead, drop it in the comment below. We'll definitely do our best to get to your question. So the first question that we got is, what is a career growth like for Scrum Masters? So I
Mm,
can start, and then you can maybe chip in if you want.
cool.
Scrum is pretty like, man, it's everywhere right now, right? It's pretty big. And I don't know if you guys, whoever wrote this question, if you have been on LinkedIn, like there's a lot of jobs out there for Scrum Masters. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you. But in terms of career growth, there's so many opportunity from being a Scrum Master, right? You can definitely work your way in becoming an agile coach, right? That's probably the next level up. There's also an RTE, an agile release train engineer. That's another career growth for you. After, if you really work as a Scrum Master and then you want to advance yourself, you can definitely become an RTE, which is just a agile release train engineer. And Anna, if you really don't have anything else to add in terms of like the career growth, you can let them know as well.
Yeah, no, I think you touch on them. I also see that the Scrum Master role, you can do anything and everything, right? Literally, you can go into a product owner role, you can go into a business analyst role. You're in a position to do whatever you really want. But in addition to what you've shared, agile coach tend to be like the next step up for most people who want to get into the space of enterprise coaching. I know that in my journey, when I just became a Scrum Master, one of the things that I realized I also wanted to do was a life coach. So, in you learning people and building relationship, I got to be a life coach. So I am also a life coach, in addition to being a Scrum Master, which helps the best of both worlds, right? And you can literally just continue to add on to whatever it is that you want to do. But for the most part, you can do and be anything you really want. You put your mind into it. What I will say is the higher you go into your profession, the more it is that you're going to have to do reading. You're going to have to do networking. You're going to have to get yourself in community of practices so you can continue to be around people uh, that are about the same level as you, right? So the world is yours. You decide how you want to navigate this career path.
Yep. And there's so much opportunity out there, guys. So, and there you can definitely go online, do your research. There's so much information out there for you, free information out there for you. All you need to do, just go online, do your research, and then enroll yourself into those certification classes and stuff, and get yourself advanced in your Scrum Master career. The next question that I have on my list is, what are some of the factors causing new Scrum Masters to lose their job? Well, first of all, I hope the person that wrote this, I hope you didn't lose your job. So, but I will actually say is, you need to really set yourself for learning, right? You need to set yourself for learning. There's so much opportunities out there. There's so many trainings, courses out there that you can really take to pretty much help yourself to make sure that you maintain your job, right? Getting a job is one thing. The next thing is maintaining your job. And how do you really maintain your job? Collab with people. Reach out to people that you know can help you. Go to LinkedIn. There's so many like free sessions, Clubhouse. There's so many like free information out there for you guys. All you guys need to do is go out there, look for all this information that are really going to help you to maintain your job. And also, obviously, I can help you myself. There's Anna also here. If you need extra support, you can reach out to us. But there's so many information out there that I would really recommend for you to take advantage of. Even if you have to pay for a training, I would recommend you do that. You're not going to regret it, right? You want to maintain your job. So whatever you're going to have to do to make you keep that job, please do go ahead and do that. So for me, a lot of people that are losing jobs, I think they're not really going out there to look for information, right? They're not trying to get the help that they need. So go out there, look for the info. Trust me, you won't regret it. Anna, what's your take on this question? We can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I see
Now,
that there are two folds of this type of answering this question, right? I see that there's somebody who got a job net new, never been in this position before, and now they have this expectation of them to be able to deliver, right? And now they're asking themselves, like, am I able to do this work, right? I also, or you've told them in the interview that I can do this, I can go above and beyond and execute when I get here. And now when you are there, they're expecting that you deliver on what you told us you were going to do, right? That's one person. I can also see it from a standpoint of this is not a good fit in the environment. Right, you got there, it's not a good fit for you. Maybe it's beyond your roles and responsibilities of what you're expected to do. Maybe the Scrum Master before you was doing a lot more, or was a door hat, right? And you just have this one way of doing thing, and you're not giving the team what they need, right?
right,
So those are the two ways that I see this. And either way, it's very crucial when you come to an organization. It's important for you to know the people, right? Build relationship, right? Because in building relationship, you're going to get the help you need within the organization. All
right,
right. So if people are not taking the extra step of, hey, I am this new Scrum Master. I just got in here. I know that you guys do things a little bit differently from where I'm from how I used to do it. I would love to put time on your calendar so we can, connect and get to know each other, right? That's the first block. And this can be with everybody that you interact with, because in every person you meet, you're going to get some level of detail about the work and about the people and their culture, right? So if you don't study the people or you don't build relationship, you're going to miss something about culture, right? So you need to also pay attention to culture, because wherever you used to work may not be the same environment or space that they're in right now. So you also need to account for that. And then the third thing is the continuous learning, right? About you as a person. There's twofold to a person. One is your personal development, and two is your expertise in your job. Do you know your job back and front? And if you don't know, are you connecting with the people who are already in the space? Nico, you alluded to it earlier. Maybe connecting with a mentor. It's okay to pay for a mentor. I have a coach. A coach have a coach, because
I
you
have a
need
coach
everybody
too.
needs a coach, right? So I think sometimes people get in the scarcity mindset of, oh, I'm making this money, but this person I'm reaching out to is asking me to pay them, but I don't want to pay them because I can get this information for free. That's completely okay. You can get information for free, but it's that information you're getting for free going to prepare you for success. If you have a mentor is literally coaching you through the process, because one, they've experienced it before you, and two, you can able to empower you so you can solve your own issue, right? So but if you don't have direction on what to take, you might go in there and say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and boom, if it's just in a matter of time, they've been observing you and noticing that you're not who you say you are, and therefore you're most likely to lose your job.
Right.
So ask yourself, what are you doing to maintain your job? I think that's the first thing. Where am I lacking, and where do I need the help, and how can I fill that gap? That would be, I'll leave it right there.
And I see someone wrote on the chat, Udemy is a good place to also get some support from.
Absolutely.
I don't know how much like Udemy, like I'm always on Udemy. Like anything I need, I just go on Udemy and purchase that training. Guys, don't like invest in yourself, right? Sometimes you might feel like, oh yeah, it's gonna cost me money, but it's money that gets you money, right?
Mm,
You need to invest in yourself. There's so much, and Udemy is not really that expensive. There's so many like trainings out there. Some of them are really like just $10, and you get
mhm.
so much information for
Yeah.
just $10. You can literally maintain your job for just $10. Just to go
Mhm.
to Udemy, get the information that you need, and it's going to really, really help you. So, guys, if you don't know about Udemy, I would really recommend you guys to also check them out. They have a lot of information out there. And guys, this video is not being sponsored by Udemy, so just so
I
we got to call
love
that
the
out.
disclaimer. I love
Yeah,
it.
somebody put that in the chat, so I just want to make sure I let everybody else know about Udemy.
Okay, cool. Another thing too, right? Podcasts. I think that sometimes people are not. when I got a job, I was listening to podcasts with everything I do. I'm working out, whatever it is, I'm listening to podcasts. And I still listen to podcasts till this day to talk about continuous improvement and continuous learning. I may not have been everywhere or have experienced every issue. However, I know that there are people out there that are willing to share their challenges that I can learn from. So that is another free streaming of resources that's available to you, right? Clubhouse. We have Clubhouse what? On Sundays and Mondays and sometimes Wednesdays and Tuesdays. If you really need help, you will find, there's this thing that says, where there's a will, there's a way, right? So if you really have a will to want to learn and keep your job, I promise you that you will find a way.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. All right, that was great. So the next question on my list is, what are some of the strategies to gain trust from team members? Wow. Well, everything I'm telling you here, guys, is based on my personal experience. So I will tell you the strategy that I use, right? That really helped me to pretty much gain trust from my team members. Set up one-on-one meeting. When you join a new team, the first thing you want to do is set up your one-on-one meeting with everyone in your team. When I mean everyone that's part of that project, anyone that's part of that team, please make sure that you set up one-on-one meeting to build relationship. It's really, really important. It's really going to set you up for success. It's going to set up your entire team for success. Make sure you set up your one-on-one meeting with each and every one of your team members. Just get to know them. Ask them about the company. Ask them how long they've been working in that project. Ask them pretty much the product they're working on. When are they supposed to be delivering certain user stories or certain epics? Just have that one-on-one meeting. Get to know your team members. Once you get to know your team members, you're going to have a very, very good and nice and good environment that is going to be very comfortable for you. Not only you, for the people that you're going to be working with as well. So one-on-one is one of the really big things for me that it helped me to gain trust with my team members, and especially right when my team members are having like challenges or any impediments, it's so easy for them to come to me to talk to me about their challenges that they're having or the roadblocks that they're facing because I've built such a good relationship with them. They feel comfortable to come to me at any given time when they're facing any type of roadblocks. They come up to me with no fear. So make sure that you set that one-on-one meeting with each and every one of your team members, with the product owner, with the developers, with the testers. If you have a project manager in your team, please do set up a one-on-one with the project manager as well. If you have a product manager, please set up a one-on-one with the product manager as well. Ask them how long have they been working in this company? How long have they been practicing Scrum? This is going to help you to know their level of agility. Should in case, right, they are new to Scrum, this is your place for you to maybe do a little a little overview of Scrum to get them up to speed with the processes for them to understand why are we doing things the way we do. So have those one-on-one meetings so you guys can pretty much bond, get to know each other, and help support each other. Anna, do you have anything to add on this?
Yeah, sorry guys. I keep moving my camera because I'm trying to get the best possible light that there is because this melanin skin, it got, oh, listen, I got to see myself in the best light, you heard? But besides the point, no, I think that's some great stuff that you just shared, Nicole. In addition to that, I will say empathy, show empathy, and bring your true self to work. I tend to see that sometimes people have this dual personality from what they do for work and in addition to them actually just showing out, right? Like at home you're a different person, at work you're a different person. I tend to blend them both, right? Even in the military I'm the same Anna you see, and sometimes I ask myself like, wow, how did I even end up here? Right? Because I think that people need to be genuine, and you cannot teach people how to care, and you just have to be somebody that cares for people, right? Because it shows. It shows. Uh, showing empathy when somebody tells you that they're going through hard times. You don't have this expectation. Well, you didn't close your user stories at the end of review. Or showing empathy when somebody comes to you and say, hey, I'm not feeling good today. But you make sure that you check on them the next time you do see them. Hey, I noticed you said you weren't feeling good. How are you feeling today? It's the little things. Are you celebrating each other? Sometimes I have a calendar of all the people on the team's birthday because that's one of the questions that I ask. And I have a birthday that's coming up on the 11th. And I asked the person, I was like, oh, your birthday is on the 11th. Like, what are your plans? It's like, Anna, do you have like this sacred monitor that you like, all of our birthdays? I was like, hey, just know that I know things. It's the little thing that you can do that's going to literally get people to believe that you care. And if people feel that you care and you have their best interests at heart, of course they're going to feel valued. Of course they're going to want to make sure that they bring their best stuff at work, right? Like how I show up at home, I wear my African attire, that's my culture attire because that's who I am, and that you're not going to see anything less,
Right.
right? So I think that people need to do a better job of bringing them true self at work. And if there's something that's not working, say it. I told the team the other day, they were like, what is one thing that you miss about going back to the office? I said, I wish I could be lying, but I am not. I don't miss absolutely anything. Why? I was falsifying. I was making face to have conversation with people that I normally wouldn't have conversation or interaction with. And you know what's funny? Everybody laughed and they said, I feel exact way. Right? So it's like, be realistic. There are things that you just call it out. Like at my retrospective, people were just throwing jokes at each other, right? And because that's the environment that I know I take pride that I
Right.
have built to be this way, right? We're allowing conversation to happen. We're allowing mistakes to happen because when it does happen, we're not blaming anybody. We're welcoming everybody.
And I see somebody wrote your show appreciation. I know Anna just talked about that. It's really important to show appreciation to your team members. And the way I actually show appreciation a lot doing our retrospective, when we join our retro, man, I have like the activities that we do. I usually start with an icebreaker. And when I'm done with my icebreakers, the next thing I like to do, I like my team members to really shout out, like give shout out to each and every one of the team members, especially those that, really, really helped you, contributed to you during the spring for you to be able
Mm.
to accomplish all your goals. So I'll just literally go around the room and be calling names like, hey, for example, I'll call names on the people on this chat. I see Annette. Hey, Annette. Was there anybody in this team today that really you want to really just appreciate for the effort and everything that they did? Because of them, you were able to deliver all your stories on time. Just go ahead and let them know, give them shout outs. They love that. My team members love that. So there was one time I did retro. I actually forgot to do shout out. They were like, they had to remind me, like, hey Nicole, we didn't get to shout out today. So
Oh
those,
no, don't remember. I
yeah,
promise you. Once you stop doing something that you've always done, I promise that they'll remember.
yeah, they love it. So they just love being shout outs, like, shout out to this person for helping me with X, Y, and Z. Shout out to that person. And I mean, you, the Scrum Master, I get shout out myself. They'll be like, I just want to thank you all for Nicole for everything, for helping us with all the blockers that we're having, for following up with everything. We just want to thank you for helping us with those. Because of that, we're able to complete this spring successfully. So you can also get shout outs, and you can literally ask your team members, guys, was there anything I did that you guys are happy about? Me too. They'll give you shout out. So make sure you do shout out with your team members. Ina, there's a question here for you before we go to our next question on my list. Let's answer this question from Miranda. I think she said, what advice can you give a new Scrum Master? She says she's also in the military, and this question is for you. Anna, what question can you give a new Scrum Master?
um, what was that? I am in the military as well. We'll be transitioning soon, and we want to get Scrum job. So, what advice you give us a new Scrum Master? I think I already answered that indirectly as far as like being a new Scrum Master. You just gotta come be yourself, right? Learn. I think there are 4 areas in which you need to learn: people, technology, culture. I'm forgetting one. Product, right? People, technology, culture, product. Those are 4 areas that your first 90 days. That's what you should be studying, right? For your first 90 days, I think it's crucial for you to understand the people you're working with, the type of product you're building, and who are your customers, right? Your end users, their technology. Are you familiar with the tools that you're supposed to be using? And if you're not, right, most of the time organizations have training so that you can continue to learn. So make sure. And then the culture. Is this a culture where people don't like to be on camera? Because if that's the case, you need to get online, right? So I feel like sometimes when people come in new in the space, they want to change everything. It's like, I don't change anything. The people do the changing for me because I have built that relationship that it's already empowering them to make their own changes. But I'm just there to enforce and to reflect with them, right? So those are some of the advice that I would give for somebody that's new. And also, when you're coming new, I know what the Scrum guy says. I completely understand that. And I know you know that what the Scrum guy said, but that's not the space you want to now drill the people or the organization on the Scrum guide because you need to adapt. You're a leader, and as a leader, agility leader, right? You need to be adaptable to your situation. So you may need to meet your team members where they're at.
Yep. And I'll add on to that. My advice to you, right, new Scrum Masters, is get to know your team. Get to know your team. Like we've been preaching this, right? This whole session, getting to know your team. Really important. Get to know them. Get to know what they're working on. Get to know the product owner, right? Do they need any help? How long have they been doing Scrum? Do I need to educate you on the processes, right? So just get to know your team members. Will really, really help you when you join a new team, if you're new to Scrum, just to understand what they're working on. Ask them question: How often do they deliver? How often do they release? What do we release? What are our release dates? What are our fixed version? Get those fixed versions. What major challenges is the team currently facing? Ask those type of questions so that way it will help you, right, to know the direction that you want to take in terms of helping them in resolving those challenges that they're currently facing. So just getting to know your team, setting the one-on-one meeting to get to know everyone in your team. There's another question here. I want to go through some of the questions on the chat before we continue with what I have from other people. There's a question from John. Please, what are the qualities of a good Scrum Master? I mean, hey, you can communicate well, right? You need to be able to communicate. This position or this role, right, requires a lot of communication. You need to be communicating with the team, with your product owner, with your BAs. You need to be communicating with the project manager that's part of the project. You need to communicate with the business, right, your stakeholders. So you really have to have a good communication skills. If you don't, please, I would really, really highly recommend to take some communication courses for yourself to help yourself to build that area. And also just being a good listener, right? We don't want to miss anything that, especially blockers. We want to be able to listen to our team members. If they're having any challenges, any impediments, we want to make sure we're capturing all of those things they're saying during our daily stand up, right? So just being a good listener to listen to your team members when they are having challenges doing stand up, when they're giving you those updates, make sure you're listening to them and you're writing those notes down so you can help follow them. Just obviously servant leader, right? Right. It's not about you. It's about the entire team as a whole. You guys are a team. You guys are working together as a team to achieve a common goal. So just being a servant leader to your team where you look things above and beyond just yourself, right? You're doing it for the team. It's not about you. It's not about your developers. It's not about your QAs, your QA testers. It's not about the product owner. It's about the business, the product we're building. So just being a servant leader where you can step in at any given time to support your team, give them the help that they need. If they're facing any blockers, you're here to help them, to follow up, to escalate any challenges that they may be having.
Mhm. No, I think those are great points. And I say sometimes, Scrum Masters, when we get into this space, we don't have room for flexibility, right? We just fit the purpose of us being agile, agility. So I think that it's important for you to be flexible. With that being said, meaning that things will not always go as planned. Maybe you had an idea to put a working agreement on the calendar for team members that of your team members, and they feel like they have another priority of something else. You got to be able to be in a mindset of, okay, let's reevaluate the plan because my plan will not always be the one that goes forward, right? So you need to be flexible. Flexibility is very crucial. It goes back to me talking about the Scrum Guide. Yes, the Scrum Guide is a guide, and you need to be able to adjust based on your current situation. I cannot repeat this enough, because I know for me that was one of the challenges that I experienced because I was under the impression that, almost like the Ten Commandments. That's what it says. We need to follow. So, hey, let's do it. So that's something I would just call out. Knowledgeable. You're a subject matter expert, and that you're hired because somebody believed that you can come here and deliver, right? You can come here and make change. You can come here and take them from where they're at and bring them to the mindset of growth, right? Growth mindset. So you should be knowledgeable be a subject matter expert in the area that in which you're in, right? And so you can continue to be respected, because in you doing that, you become influential. And you want to be influential. Why? Because you don't have authority to tell people what to do. You do not. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I know I've said a lot of things that, and I think the other thing too, you need to be committed. I know that there are people who are doing 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. I don't know, whatever you do decide to do, but that does not allow you to be committed to your team. Why? Because I would say this, it is okay to do it. However, when you start splitting focus, it takes you away from actually helping your team to get to maturity, right? So you need to be committed in whatever you're doing so you can help your team get to the Z that they're looking for, right? So I just wanted to call that out.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Anna. There's another question here from Shane. How do you deal with dependencies with stakeholders and vendors? Dependencies, man, that's a really big one. So if your team, right, is having some type of a dependency that maybe is from the business, you're waiting from business to maybe clarify something, right? I would definitely want to reach out or find out first of all who from the business are we waiting for, right? To get the information that my team members need. So I would definitely, if you don't know the name of the person from the business to reach out to, please do reach out to your product owner if you do need some type of support, or even your project manager. Just ask them. My team member is working on this user story. Is depending on some type of clarity from a business, who's this person that who's the subject matter expert from the business that can come to a meeting to clarify all the doubts that my team members may have. Make sure you get the name of that person, send the email to the person, even set up a meeting with that individual, with the person that's having that dependency, just so you can get the clarity that they need. Or if it's just internal dependencies, let's just say if it's your team member that's working on the user story, that's depending with another team member's user story. Try to track down which team members in your team is this other person's story depending on, right? Try to find out what story number it is, who's that story assigned to, get a timeline. When is that person going to start their story and when are they going to be done with your story so your team members' story doesn't delay, right? We want to make sure that we're keeping track of everything. Just find out who that story is depending on, get the name. There's so many ways you can track it on Jira, right? There's a way you can track your dependencies, right? You can literally go ahead and plug that story and write a comment that this story is depending on this story from this person and is going to be completed on this day. So your developer is able to see the story that the other person is working on and so they can track it. SOS from a Strom is another place to track and talk about dependencies, right? If you have any type of dependency in your team, bring it to SOS. That's the whole purpose of this meeting, right? We come to SOS to talk about risk, dependencies, challenges that our teams are facing, any blockers, and current state of where we're at. So that's a really good place to come talk about it and to see if there's any Scrum Master that also comes to SOS. Maybe if your story is depending on them, that's a good place to talk about it. Ask them which team member from their team is working on this user story and when are they going to be done. So you can also keep track of that. The other way I keep track of my dependencies, guys, I also use Excel. I create Excel sheets with different I just create different columns, the story number, the due dates, and if it's depending on another story, I put dependency on which team, or if it's internal, I put internal and just list the dates that the other story is going to get done. So that way my developer is not blocked. Guys, there's so many ways you can track your dependencies, and Inners, yeah, I don't know which other method you've used to be able to track your dependency, but if it's with the business or a third party vendor, I would definitely want to track down who that person is, set up a meeting so that way they can meet with my developer and explain the situation so my developer is not blocked.
No, I think the things that you were saying are valid. Just to add on to that, I will say whenever you're working on a new team, or you just got to assigned to a team, it's always important for you to have expectations set up, right? That's one of the things that I asked the current product owner, as far as like who are our business partners and what do we need from them, because in you asking that question is going to give you a better understanding as far as like right the processes that have been using before. Some of the things that I see, I see as a concern or issue, is that there's no expectation between the vendors or the stakeholders, right? Nothing was said. So now you're just needing to pick pieces and try to meet people where they're at, when in reality, that's like level setting. So one thing to do to a list, understand who are the vendors, who's the point of contact to them, and how do you guys connect with them, right? Um, there are some vendors that they're not practicing Scrum, right?
A
And so
lot.
if that's the case, you're not going to see them at your Scrums. You're not going to see them at team event. So you need to have a process in place as far as like how do we interact with people that are not also practicing Scrum, right, in the Scrum space. So Scrum is another way for dependency, but the other part is when it comes to PI planning or just planning in general, it's important to have conversations with those people. How do we want to maintain our relationship? How do we want to go about ensuring that we're aligned on when things are due and who should be reaching out to who? Right? Because if you don't establish those things ahead of time, you will struggle, and it seems like you're chasing a dog, right? Because you're never gonna catch them. I don't know, giraffe maybe. Right? So it's very important for you guys. I know the question was how do you deal with it, but you don't want to deal with it, you want to solve for the problem. What is the root cause? And the root cause that you're dealing with is because you have not spent that time to establish what needed to be established so that you can now find a better path ahead, because dependency can impact somebody from doing work. Because when we even do dependency, my thing is, what is the impact to your work? Does it mean that sometimes what teams do is they don't plan ahead? So now it's the sprint that they're or iteration that they're planning on. They realize that, hey, team A needs to give me this, and now they're on team A's back. Oh, hey, this is a priority to us. So can you prioritize it? But team A or team B already prioritized their work, their active sprint. So you're gonna have to wait. So communication, I cannot stress it enough, right? Find a point of contact, right? Understand what dependencies you guys have and when is it due,
Yep.
right? And then
Perfect.
also understand is what's our continuous back and forth relationship. Those are three things that you need to establish in order for you to make sure that you're taking care of your ongoing communication. But when it comes time to now dealing with the dependency, everybody needs to be on the same page as far as like expectation of them, right? It makes it easier. Hey, this is where we're going to be meeting once a week, this day, this time, so we can talk about X, Y, and Z.
Yep. And then also, Anna mentioned something planning, right? Doing sprint planning, guys, that's a really good place to catch dependency, right? If you guys are doing your planning, I actually like to always ask in my planning if there's any story that we're accepting in the sprint that's depending on any user story. I want to know right there, right? Let's start tracking it right now. Which story is it? And do we have a person assigned to the other story that my team member is going to be working on? Because remember, you might be having a user story that's depending on another story from a total different team that's not even part of your team. That's just cross team dependencies. You have to trace down and find out which team is working on this user story that my developer story is depending on. So during planning, I like to always just ask the product owner or the team if there's any story that's depending on another user story. If yes, is it an internal dependency or is it cross team dependency, right? If it's cross team dependencies, I want to definitely also make sure that I, after my planning, follow up with that team to see if their story has been assigned. Because if their story needs to be done before my team member's story, I want to make sure I get a start date and an end date of their work. So I know exactly to tell my developer that, hey, this person's story that your story is depending on is going to be due on this date.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. Derek says I catch a dog one time, laugh out loud. You're funny, Derek.
And then before we continue, guys, if you're watching us live and you have not subscribed, please do go ahead, subscribe to my channel because we are going to be coming here more. So we're going to be providing you with a lot of information on Scrum. That's going to help you with your career, with your journey. So please do go ahead, like, and also make sure you subscribe. Let's keep it going. I see a lot of questions on the chat, and I also still have some other questions. Let me go on the next question on my list. So the next question I have, they're asking what prerequisites does one require as a Scrum Master other than just a certificate? Well, if you first of all, right, you need to take the training, right? You need to enroll yourself into a Scrum Master training course to be able to get your certification, right? Once you do take the training, obviously you get certified. I don't know why you have a certificate without actually taking the training. So I'll do it the other way around. Get myself trained and then get the certification. So you definitely need to enroll yourself if you haven't done so into a training. Once that's done, get yourself certified and then join. There are a lot of like free sessions out there, like I mentioned earlier, right? There's Clubhouse. They give out a lot of information out there. Anna actually, she's like a Clubhouse. I don't even know what word to call her. She's always on Clubhouse giving free information on Scrum. Guys, Anna, if you don't mind, if you want to put your chat room on Clubhouse over here on the chat so people can maybe follow you on Clubhouse as well because you are having some amazing sessions there. I also joined her Clubhouse sessions as well. So, other than just the certification, yes, you can join Clubhouse and get a lot of knowledge from there. YouTube, there's so much out there for you. Free sessions, free content that different people are putting out for you, right? That can also help you other than just having your Scrum certification. Someone had mentioned on the chat earlier about Udemy. You can also check them out. They have some free courses there as well. You can also, it can also help you as well. And then just obviously, if you know people that are working that are Scrum Masters, get yourself a mentor. Get someone that can mentor you to help you throughout this journey, other than just having your certification. Anna, is there something you want to add to this? What are some prerequisites?
Yeah, so I think that certification is good. I think that some companies, depending on what company it is, some of them sometimes it said bachelor's degree is not required. Some of them said that is required. This is how I think, this is how I see things. I say, if you bring your true self and be who you are in the interview, I really don't think that it matters whether or not you have a bachelor's degree or not. Right? That's just me, right? Because I think that if you bring yourself and you know your stuff, people are right, like they feel energy,
Yep.
right? So your energy, I tend to tell my personality will get me to places that I probably never thought I would get into. That's just what I know, right? So I think that besides the fact that if you don't have a bachelor's or you do have an associate, it really doesn't matter. Make sure that you're becoming a subject matter expert. This is a specialized knowledge. Know it ins and out of it, right? Besides that, also your personal development is critical, right? Emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, situational leadership, all these other things that has significant role to play in you embodying this role and helping and supporting your team, right? So I think that to me, those are some of the prerequisite, and of course, you know how to communicate. But everybody have a different means and mode of communication. That's another thing that you need to be able to understand. That Your one way may not be the one way for everybody because you might have two teams and they both have two different attitude or culture, right? So are you adaptable? Right. So those are some of the things that I definitely think in addition to you having a certification, you can, sharpen those skill sets so that it can put you in a good position.
Right, right. Thank you, Anna. There's a
And
question.
sorry, and the clubhouse, you can find me on Scrum Master. My name is Scrum Master, so you can't really, like, it was designed, it was done purposely for that reason, right? So you can't, if you're typing Scrum Master, I promise you I'll be the first one to pop up. So Scrum Master, the clubhouse room is Scrum Master Champions. Okay, so
Yeah, follow her. Check her out on Clubhouse, guys. You guys will not regret. Like you won't regret. Listen to me. You won't regret. Okay. All right. There's a question here from Gina. How long does your spring planning meeting usually last? The Scrum guide says 8 hours max for a 1 month sprint. Um, I would say, right, it just depend on your team. What works for your team, right? Yes, the Scrum guy says 8 hours for 1 month sprint. It's
I
really
know what the Scrum guy says. Okay,
yes.
I told you guys this already. I know what it says, but in reality, what are you practicing?
What works for your team, Gina? It's really what works for your team and everyone that's watching. What really works for your team, right? Because a team that only has maybe 3 developers and one tester, I don't think they're probably going to need 8 hours for their meeting, right? A team that maybe has 7 developers, 2 testers, I don't think they're probably going to need like even 4 hours for their planning. It depends on your team and how big your team is, and also how much work they have to plan for that sprint. What I would say is, first of all, just try something. Maybe set up the meeting for depending on how many members that you have in your team. If you have like 7 members or less, I usually set up my planning for 1 hour, and it's been really good. And we actually will run our planning, and we still get out of our planning, and we still have time. How comes we're able to accomplish all of this in 1 hour? Because we do a really, really good backlog refinement. If you have a really good backlog grooming session before your planning shouldn't take too long, right? Most of the things should happen in your refinement session. Team members should ask all the questions that they may have during your backlog grooming session. So that way your product owner or whoever can help them answer those questions can get the answers that they need ahead of time. When you get into planning, you guys should be assigning stories. You're just reviewing the stories that your team is accepting, going over your velocity to make sure that, yeah, this story points is enough for the team members that we have with the capacity that we have. Um, just make sure that you do a really good backlog refinement. If you do have a really good backlog refinement, and if you don't have too many people on your team, your planning should not take more than an hour. Again, just make sure that you see your team, set up some time, see if it works. Then you guys can make adjustment. If you think that it's taking too long, then maybe make some adjustment with the team members. It's not a decision that you make by yourself.
I just wanted to jump in on that because I
No,
didn't want anybody to get out of here and say, yeah, Nicole said
no,
I can set up the no. So actually before you go there, sometimes they already set up their planning meeting event. I guess this is the new term, their planning event. Okay. So it will be up to the team. Any changes that happen to that calendar will be up to the team. So it's either it came up on retrospective and said that the event was too long and we need to adjust it. Okay, go ahead. But you as a scrum master, you're not going there single-handedly and say, okay, well, you know what? We've had enough of this. Nobody's talking. Nothing is happening. I'm just going to change it from an hour to 30 minutes. All
nope.
right.
Doesn't work like that.
Wrong answer. Okay. Wrong answer, you, if you're thinking that. So I just wanted to make sure that we're clear with ensuring that, yes, we're making sure that those events are on the calendar, but if any changes that need to happen, it has to come from the team perspective. Okay. So if you do your backlog refinement, as Nicole alluded correctly, and it's done well, like that is still considered a part of pre-planning, right? So if you do backlog refinement twice, the event twice a week, I mean, no, not even twice a week, once a week, that's 2 hours, right? For 1 hour. And then now it's time to planning. You're planning for an hour or 90 minutes or hour, 90 minutes, right? I said hour, 90 minutes or 90 minutes, right? So that's 3 hours, 30 minutes of planning in general. So you can still get some type of, which, to your point, whoever asked that question, if you do that for one sprint, that's an hour. It gets you to 7 hours of planning about 7 hours of planning in a sprint, right? In a sprint. So in a month, I mean. So it just really, it depends on the need, the technical, the technicality of your team, right? Because there's some teams that need deep dive into some stuff that may not all get done in backlog refinement. Like my team right now, I can, in all transparency, we have on call, right? We have incidents that comes in and out, right? So we're trying to essentially manage the process of dealing with committed work and also dealing with on-call and service now request that comes in. Okay. So we spend some of our time and we purpose some of our stand-up time to be able to go through those service requests that come in from incidents, right? And just talk through it. And then we use some of our time in backlog refinement to also go, because it's so much. We don't have an allocated time to essentially, so you can repurpose some of this events to do the things that you need to do, and to give you the result that you're looking for. So sometimes we end up having to do backlog refinement for 90 minutes or 2 hours, dependent, right? If we don't get to do everything that we needed to do prior to that planning. So it really depends, and this is why I keep saying, I cannot stress this enough. What a Scrum guy says, that's what the Scrum guy says. All right. But in reality, you going to need to adjust to the plan.
Awesome. Yep, yep, yep. So we only have 5 more minutes. This is actually going really fast, and I think
Yeah, I
maybe
went by really fast.
that's right. 1 hour went really fast. I think we have a room for one more question. Then we will be done for today. All
Sure.
right, I will go with the questions that I have. Someone asked, "Am I allowed to be am I allowed to observe on someone's daily stand up?" So let's say if you join a new team, if there's currently a Scrum Master working there that maybe is moving to another team or got promoted to another position or whatever reason, right? They hire you and you have to take over the team. Um, yes, you can definitely ask them if you want to observe, which I think is a good thing, right? Because if you're coming to a brand new environment, brand new organization, I would definitely would like to observe myself just to see how they're currently working, right? To see their way of working. So that way, are they doing things correctly? Are they doing things wrong? What things can we improve here? Right? It's good to always just ask them if you can observe for a little bit just to see how the team is collaborating, how they're pretty much supporting each other, how they're working, how they're pretty much doing things amongst the team. So I would definitely want to recommend you to make sure that you ask if you can just shadow for a little bit just to see how things are being done with that team.
So I think I got that question from a person, right? I like to use cases because I
Okay.
love. So I think I got that question being asked for somebody who was not in the field and wants to shadow somebody. That to me, that's what I think the question like. So I would say this is like privacy, right? And I would say no, right? No, you will not be able to shadow me, shadow my stand up, because this is internal information, right? Especially I work for a financial firm where it's just, yeah, like data privacy non-negotiable. So I personally know. However, are there videos on YouTube that can I guess like role play, can help you role play? Are there trainings that you can do that simulate the same process? Absolutely, right? Because I think that sometimes people see it as a perspective of, I have to be in it to see it in order for me to be able to execute. Actually, not quite. You can actually, that what you learn, you can literally use the same, I don't know, your current company, your current role, and do a stand up, right? where you're not saying that this is a stand-up, guys, because I just learned this from a Scrum guide. You're saying, hey, guys, I would like us to try something that I think would be really productive to us, or it'd be really efficient way for us to get our work done. If you guys are interested, I'm happy to share. If not, that's completely fine. But you can try this. There's multiple places that you can try it. I know that some people, when they get certification, they either get the 2-day certification or they get the extensive bootcamp training, right? I tend to say, if you're somebody who likes to do and then know, go ahead, do the extensive, right? But some of us want to save money. But saving money is not going to get you to the result or the goal you're looking for. Nope. So it's like you just got to be intentional with what it is that you're looking for, and so that you can get to wherever you're going. But if you were to ask me, my students don't even get to do that. So no, that's the answer is no. All right.
Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You will definitely see results.
Great. So I think that is it. And I'm looking at in the chat, and it seems like there's a lots of more question here. How do you want to tackle this? Do you want to maybe another time? We can touch base on it.
Oh, definitely. Guys, we definitely, it seems like you guys really enjoy. If you enjoyed this session, go ahead on the comment below and give us a thumbs up. I want this chat to be going fire right now. If you enjoyed the sessions and you want more of it, go on the comment below and just give us a thumbs up.
And I guess if you do enjoy it, maybe you can just share like one thing that you took away from our conversation today, right? So what is your one takeaway? I would hope that we're sharing this information not for ourselves, we're sharing it to the masses, right? Because I know when we were going through our process of becoming Scrum Master and Agile coaches, we didn't have somebody to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Ask your questions. We're going to come in live and answer the questions, right? I barely knew people in the space to be able to do that. So I guess like it might be helpful for me. I'd like to know that I'm adding value. I'm giving value to people. So maybe you can just share, if people can take a minute or so to just give us feedback. How was today? Thumbs up. Okay, great. Thank you for your thumbs up. And also share, what was your one takeaway that you took from this session today?
Yes, you can leave them on the comment. Your one takeaway, something you really learned about the session from Nicole and Anna. If you want to just maybe leave them on the comment as well, we're really going to appreciate that. We want to also improve, right? Remember, right? As much as we're trying to help our team members to improve, we also want to improve ourselves so we can be better and supporting our team so we can deliver on time.
Yep. No, Nicole, this is great. I don't know how often we plan to do this, but I think that this might be a really good place to start. And for the people that are out there, if you didn't get a chance to get on Clubhouse yet, Clubhouse is another great place that you can get information. I'm on there on Mondays and Sundays. Today, actually, in about 2 hours or so, 3 hours or so, I'll be on there for about an hour. Giving same nuggets that I'm giving right now, because this is who I am. I am part of the process. So, and this is my life. I think this is my purpose. I got into it. Another thing I will tell you guys, nobody was born with this knowledge, right? With the level of expertise. We all got here because we learned. So it's very important for people to actually invest the time if you really want to learn. Decisions making. What's more important? What's important to you, right? So it's very important for you guys to continuously making sure that you know what's important to you and invest that time. Time is money, right? And spend the money too. It needs for you to get to your next step, because that's something that we don't do enough of. And ever since that I actually got to understand that, it's gotten me into different places. And I'm just saying that out of transparency, right? Yes. So it's really important. So Clubhouse is an app. So you guys can go ahead and do tap it. It's like, where can I find Clubhouse? So it is an app on your phone.
You just literally just go to your Play Store or whatever phone you have. If you have an Android phone or an Apple, just type in Clubhouse, download the app.
Yeah, and download the app, and there you go. So yeah, no, it's really important. So get yourself in the space, in the community. Even on Facebook, there's a Schoolmaster growth group. I always send my students to go over there. Like, hey, this is some of the prerequisite of what I'm expecting of you. To if you want to succeed in this space, you need to be involved with people that are already in the space, right? To give you the continuous knowledge and learning. Because you can't be in an interview and they say, how do you maintain? How do you keep? How do you keep up with Scrum and Agile? Right? What are you gonna say?
Right, right, right.
So yeah,
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our session, guys. We just want to thank you all for taking your time to join us today. And personally, I want to thank you, Anna, as well, for joining me on this channel. It's been really wonderful. It's been awesome. I hope whatever information that we have provided to you guys is if you're able to clear any doubts that you may have. We are going to definitely do this again, right? And I just want everybody to give us shout outs. Thanks, and continue to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done so, please just make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on anything that I will be posting. And right after this session, I am about to hop on Clubhouse with Anna because we don't stop. We never stop. We love what we do. So if you want to join us on Clubhouse, please just go ahead, download Clubhouse on your Play Store, and then when you get to Clubhouse, just search. What's your thing again? Is it
Scrum Master.
Schoolmaster Champions?
Nope, Scrum Master. Just tap in Scrum Master, you find me.
Just go on Clubhouse and type Scrummaster, and then let's go. If you do come there, we'll see you again.
Yeah. No.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Later. Bye.
Bye.